Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Here we are again. I just want to remind you guys before I get started talking about healing for the soul and giving the affirmations that our PTSD class is at 3 o'clock Pacific today. We have 2 more classes. And if you know anyone or yourself, just share this video and even subscribe because we have more coming up. We got a Reiki class online that we'll be teaching in the next month or so. You want to get in on that because we're into a energy and a system of wholeness, spiritual healing, and you're going to experience more adventure. So here today, we're going to look at 3 and 20 of Revelation. Here I am. It says, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with that person, and they will eat with me. Now, this is about the churches, right? But one of the things that I find is that we don't understand that we are the church individually, and we're in a time where we're taking back our lives from those that have had our lives in their hands. Even before we were born, many of us do not understand that our lives were given to others and we have been dictated. We all believe that the system of slavery ended back in the 1800s, but there was still another form because here we are working under taxation, and taxation is going to certain people. And we have underdeveloped populations that are not being served or helped. The increase of homelessness is going on. So as an individual, if I taught, and I do, according to the church, I would teach like Jesus when he says, that my body is the temple of God. There's confusion between the physical temple, meaning the brick and mortar, and the physical temple of our body, meaning us, individuals, being able to go out and assist and even collaborate. The bridges where there's gaps concerning our people that are homeless, families that are in deprivation, generations of children that are constantly being brought up in poverty. The others are not going to do this to help. If anyone else is listening and they understand what I'm saying, we are the ones that were called to do it. All right. So he says, time to embrace authenticity of who you are. Oh, that was what I wrote. Excuse me. But he says, if anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with that person and they with me. And this is a conversation that's between you and I. Again, what I've experienced when I was in the church is, yes, I was going to get a message, but as a younger child, I understood that there was a message that was coming into me, because there would be things that my intuition would lead me and guide me. And so we're in a time where our intuition is being heightened and sharpened, not just for certain people, but for the population of human beings, because we came in this world for a reason. We're in it, but we don't have to be about the world. As we begin to merge into spirit again, our true home, you miss something, you're longing for something. What happens is that you connect back with that force of energy, that God in you, that goddess in you, that truth, and your life begins to turn around and you begin to see the authenticity of your mission, of who you are, and where you need to be begins to place you in that space. And when I say where you need to be, the spirit begins to place you, because now you have released yourself from controlling your life as you have been taught throughout the world system, because the world is about controlling things and people. The world is even our body trying to control others. That's the way that we're programmed until we actually see that this is what we're doing, and it's fear-based. We do it because we're afraid. We're trying to control our household, our money, our children. You really have no control, because when they wake up, and when your money has been dispersed to all different kind of avenues concerning bills, you'll see that you never had any control. Because if you really had control, you would read that word and see that God is giving you some information that's locked down that others don't know about, such as in Romans 8, around the 11th to 12th verse, it says that you owe no debt to You don't owe any debt if you walk by the Spirit, is what it's saying. That's Romans 8, 11, and 12. If you walk by the Spirit, is the key. All right. So these here mysteries that's locked up is where we're able to unlock if we answer that call in 3 and 20, not just as a physical church, because I don't have to wait on leaders in the church. I have a personal relationship with God or the goddess in me, which means that I am forging towards accessibility. I'm saying, okay, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. I need access directly. I cannot wait to go to the church and people to pray for me. That's codependency, by the way. All right. So here, as we go on, he's sitting and he's saying in this, I will come and eat with that person and they with me. Now, there are some people that describe this according to the church that it was for lacidosis, right? Now, all right. You know what I'm saying? Look it up because they got the churches over there. Anyway, Laodiceans. But are you a physical church of Laodiceans that do not hear as an individual the knock of God, the call? And, let's explain that call. The call is coming to anyone that is been in a position where they've been living a life that is not substance or filled with substance. God or the goddess is about substance. That's why, there's people that vibrate with light and they're able to make it through hard and extreme situations where others are not, because they connect every day. At some point in time, some people doing it all the time, they're just sitting in the presence. This is where your substance comes from. Your substance is, deleted or you decrease in substance when you live in your own control. So come and sup with me, he's saying, and I will sup with you. This is a agreement between, I feel like, two people. This is my relationship. And then Isaiah 63 and 5 says, I looked, but there was no one to help. I was appalled that no one assisted. So my arm brought me salvation, and my own wrath upheld me. I looked, but there was no one to help me. I was appalled. No one gave me support. So my own arm achieved salvation for me, and my own wrath sustained it. You got to get angry sometime, and you'll get angry with people, but sometimes it's by design that God has not allowed people to help you, because you can do it. When you're depending on people, that's that codependent aspect again. When God actually wants us to be interdependent and interpersonal, that means that we come together, we lock arms. You're my brother, you're my sister. I treat you with love, you treat me with love. The mask is gone. I'm even able to be vulnerable and tell you that I've went through hell and high water to get to this place. But I had to do it alone. And some people would say I had to do it my way. According to the Spirit of God, yes, there is a certain way that everyone has to go. There's no master plan. The master plan is connection, the spiritual connection. Here I am, I stand at the door and knock. That is the message. Spiritual connection, the balance between heaven and earth is here, and it's necessary for us to make it in the next coming days and years, because this part of what we are in, and even the aggravation, the tumultuous feelings that people are experiencing, the rage and the fits, you know what I'm saying? The lack and the deprivation is not going to end. It's getting heightened. Because I don't want to say the other word, it starts with a W, O-R-S-T. When you can change that word is when your connection with spirit is solidified, and it happens every day. Anyone is able to acquire a connection with spirit. They must release their ego. Some people hear the ego talking and they follow it until destruction comes. And that's when they know they've been following the wrong voice, the voice of the stranger. Which one will you follow? Is what the word says. Will you hear my voice, or will you hear the voice of the stranger? Because the thief comes to seek, steal, and destroy. The thief is not something outside of us. The thief starts with us making wrong choices and decisions, and then being so prideful and haughty that we cannot say, I made a mistake, let me change, or even to apologize, or even to, number one, change the behavior, identify the behaviors that got me to the place where I am in hell now, and change that, right? So here, go to Revelations 3:20, and I encourage you guys to read 3 of Revelations. Read the whole chapter so you can understand your position and what you can have out of this. A personal relationship with spirit affords you everything in your posterity, your generations, to have more if you follow it, right? A relationship with spirit, the spirit of God, goodness, love, and kindness, where you are changing your fruit from 5:19 of Galatians to 5:20 of Galatians, or 22:21 of Galatians. You're changing it because love and kindness is a part of you planting to get a better harvest for you and your family, your children, and generations to come. So you go on and you read Revelations 3:20, and then read Isaiah 63. Read the whole chapter so that you can get the meat. The reason why people are running to and fro like the devil is because they lack substance. You can't get substance on your own, and substance is not given to us because we own houses and cars. Substance is a part of who we are within. You manifested it. Now what do? You're not happy with all that you have. Guess what? Your lack of happiness is going to deteriorate all of those worldly possessions that you were able to manifest. That's how it goes. Because you may have been working towards something, but you never worked towards the prime piece that you needed, which was God in your life. Oh, I've heard it all. But you know what? I'd rather live outside of discord, on my own, in a place where I'm rebuilding, rather than live in discord. Because happiness does not come from people, it comes from within. And as long as someone or people are around you that are unhappy, there's a transfer of spirits. Baby, can I tell you about that? I'll be talking about that in my PTSD class, because sometimes you'll be around people and think, what in the world has happened to me? And it's because spirits are transferring from others. You start thinking like them, talking like them, all for the sake of love. Let's turn that thing around. Let's teach these people that have no substance who we really are. Let your light shine, right? So let's get our affirmation for today. We got our affirmation cards. Because every day we're waking up and we getting our motivation on, our groove on. We're not paying attention to what's going on from the past. Who said what? Johnny, Joe, Sue. Let them be who they are, because God in you and I are manifesting great things. We are blessed and highly favored, and the grace of God is with us, right? Things are happening in our lives that people couldn't understand because they thought that they were doing something to bring us to an end. But God said that ended, and now the new beginning has come. Can I get a shout? Yes. All right. So here is your affirmation. Man, this here, we're in a season of making sure that we plan, because here it is again. This came up I think yesterday or day before yesterday. The basis of karma. So we want to really look at sowing and reaping. We probably all heard phrases such as you reap what you sow. How did you say it when you were talking to people before? Were you like Whoopi Goldberg when she told, what's his name, Danny Glover over in Color Purple? She had did her time. Sister served, right? Were you in that mindset? Were you just like, you know what, I'm just getting out because I served and prison is over for me? Okay, that's reaping and sowing. You know that it's time for you to get out because you've had enough. Either you're going to get out or there's going to be conflict. Who wants conflict? Only drama kings and queens, right? And in that conflict, what happens is that we're reaping and sowing conflict back and forth. That's what we're getting. We don't know how to get even out of the vice of conflict at times. You got to look at the illusions of life, the lessons that you're learning, and begin to look at how you can serve love and just really break free of that sowing and reaping that may not be conducive or productive for you in your life. So here it says, treat others as you would like to be treated. That's a foundation as itself. You know what I'm saying? If you are arguing and treating people bad and you're saying nasty things to them all the time, what do you think you're going to get? It's coming back to you. You might have been waiting. You may not have even believed that this would come back to you, the way that you talk to someone, and that it would be a time when you would be served that same garbage. I was telling them in leadership yesterday about trash being released from our lives under certain dynamics. Trash, but you got to let go, because people are used to trash, which means that that's reaping and sowing. If you hold on to the trash, then trash gonna keep coming to you, because that's what it looked like you might like, right? I'm just saying. I had to learn that myself. Okay, throw the trash out where it goes, and then accept the beautiful things that life has to give you. Whenever you've been in domestic violence or you have been verbally abused, you think that that's the right way because that's the way you live. I'm not making fun of anybody, I'm just breaking it down. But we can change that when we're around people that have experienced those things and also support us. So how do you support yourself today? And that's reaping and sowing, because if you begin to support yourself in productive words, productive living, which is why I come on and I do this, because I love to wake up in the morning and start my day off with positive. I need that, because the substance of who I am is a part of me gleaning that information, the affirmations, and circulating it within my body. It's not just blood circulating within me, it's also words of positive. I need health and wellness throughout my whole mind, body, and spirit. And whoever listens, I want them to receive this as well, because this is reaping and sowing. First, I'm gonna sow into myself. I'm not waiting on nobody to do this, because karma gonna come back and give me what I give to myself. Self-preservation. I'm not talking about selfish. I'm talking about, how do you preserve yourself? How do you even go back and refill yourself? The anointing flows. Yes, it does out in your life, but the anointing will be depleted if you are not constantly in the word, also refilling yourself and having people around you that can do that. That's what support is. So remember to read Isaiah 63:5. All right. So it says it's a good idea to be kind to others, because then they are likely to be kind to us. This is the basis and the concept of karma. All right. Whatever you give, whatever I give. And I'm going to tell you that I ain't been who I am. So I used to get up raising HELL, because I was raised up that way, hearing it. So I did it. But honey, I took a day and I heard myself and I said, oh, you got to change this, because you're not going out like this. And I love my foundation, but each and every one of us as generations, we're sitting here to change something to make our posterior better. So you guys be blessed and have a wonderful day. Thanks for tuning in. And again, share. Email me at ifwbuilders@gmail.com. Come and ask and inquire about our leadership program or the PTSD class. All right. Bye-bye.